Good evening, sir. Ram Kumar, sir. Good evening, sir. Sridevi, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Sridevi, ma'am. Can you hear me, ma'am? Sridevi, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, good evening, sir. Ram Kumar Singaram, sir. Good evening, sir. Sir, you are muted, sir. Sir, you can unmute yourself, sir.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Very clear, sir.
Now, doctor, let me check with the guest.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Doctor, can you please make Amarnath as co-host? He will be helping us.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Yes, sir. I made, sir.
Thank you, doctor.
Welcome, sir.
Friends, time is 6:30. We'll be starting the program in another 5 minutes. Request to please stay. The program will be started at 6:35 sharp. Thank you. Friends, thanks for joining. We'll be starting in another 2 minutes time. Please hold. Thank you. Doctor, we can start.
Yes, sir. Very good evening, one and all present here. We welcome you all for the PRSI Chennai chapter organizing webinar on communication, the secret success, the secret weapon for success. We have guest today, Ms. Madhumati from Shreda Mannu Foundation, Chennai. Uh, Mr. Ramkumar Singaram, sir, can you share few words about Public Relations Society of India, Chennai chapter?
Thank you, Dr. Raja. Again, we warmly welcome Ms. Madhumati Narayanan, founder and CEO of Shraddha Manu Foundation. Madam has got a lot of information to share with us. Communication is a very wide subject. Though Madam can able to speak for continuously 3 days, and she used to take classes for 3 days, but we requested her to simplify the content and to share the communication as a secret weapon for success. Thanks to Madhumati Madam for accepting the invite. Now, a small intro about PRSI. Before that, after my speech, our treasurer, Dr. Sridevi, will introduce the guest, and then the guest will speak on this topic, and then there will be a Q&A, then followed by vote of thanks by Dr. Raja, is our secretary, honorary secretary for Public Relations, Society of India, Chennai chapter. About PRSI, Public Relations Society of India started at 1959 at Delhi. Chennai chapter started in 1969. One among the oldest chapter in PRSI in India. Throughout India, PRSI has got 23 chapters and more than 3,000 members. In Chennai chapter, we have got more than 100 members. And people from Viscom, Masscom, public relations, advertising industry, media, marketing, lot of people are, lot of professionals who are working in this industry. People from public sector, private sector, college students, professors, education institution people, all are members here. So we have got a wonderful forum. Every month we used to conduct 2 webinars where it is free to all. People from all over India are joining in the webinar and they are getting benefited out of this webinar. And every month, one offline meeting, which we used to organize at Hotel Savera at Chennai, Mylapore at Chennai. People who are in Chennai can join here as a member. We charge a very, very, very nominal fee. And we give 3 meetings every month, 2 webinars and 1 offline meeting. And they will have a wonderful network sessions also. So if you are interested to join as a member, people who are in Chennai, they can contact Dr. Raja, secretary, or they can send a message in the chat box. We will get in touch with you. So thank you very much. Over to Dr. Sridevi, our treasurer. Before that, Dr. Raja is the assistant professor working in Satyabama University in Viscom department. And myself, Ram Kumar Singaram, I am the chairperson for PRSI Chennai chapter. I run a PR agency called Catalyst PR. I was an ex-journalist. And Dr. Sridevi, who is going to introduce Miss Madhumati Narayanan, is the again assistant professor, Viscom department, MOP Vaishnav College, Chennai. So over to Dr. Sridevi to introduce the chief guest.
Good evening, everyone. It's a great pleasure to introduce our today's speaker, Ms. Madhumati Narayanan ma'am. She is an alumna of the prestigious IIM Bangalore and is the dedicated and visionary founder and CEO of Shraddha Manu Foundation. The Shraddha Manu Foundation is the outcome of Ms. Narayanan's vision and is dedicated to mainstreaming marginalized women and children through innovative education pathways since 2018. This initiative is aligned with the UN Sustainable Development Goal of 4 and 5. It focuses on creating inclusive and happy classrooms by providing fundamental education to the primary children in remote and rural Tamil Nadu. Under Ms. Madhumati's leadership, the foundation has trained over 510 graduate housewives as proficient educators, impacting the learning outcomes of 5,000 primary children and revitalizing over 80 schools with 88 centers and 28 districts across the Tamil Nadu. With 2 decades of experience in management, education, and training, her specialties include startup coaching, product development, franchising, training, and branding. Today, she stands as an inspiring figure and a beacon of hope for women and children from underserved communities. On behalf of the PRSI Association, academicians, students, and experts from the industry, I warmly welcome you, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you, Ms. Devi. Good evening. Thank you, Ram Kumar, for inviting me for this program. I feel it's a great honor to be part of this evening with so many people around wanting to. I mean, I'm sure many of you would know what communication is, but then to look at a structured way of what is in the professional way of looking at communication. It's a good forum, and thank you, PRSI, for giving me an opportunity. So I will be taking you through my session. I would be using a PowerPoint. I'll be sharing the screen, and that's how this session would go. I'd just like to know if you're able to see my screen, Ram Kumarji.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
madam.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So this evening we are starting with this topic: communication, the secret tool to success. So I was introduced. I'm Madhumati Narayanan. These are some things that I do. I do some educational consulting. I'm very keen working with startups, especially with entrepreneurs who want to make big in life. So I work with them on brand, marketing, go to market, and things like that. Yeah. There seems to be a small issue in moving the slides. Yeah. So here are some ground rules for this session. So the next 40 minutes that we'll be interacting, these will be the ground rules. Just try to figure out what I'm trying to say, in this. I've not put it in words, but I've put it, in your language, which is the language of the emojis. So on the chat box, can I have some responses? What am I trying to say here? What is it that I'm trying to say with this emoji? Any guesses? You can type into your chat box. No guesses? Okay, what is this? What does this say? Can you make out what I'm trying to say there? What does this say? All the language of emojis, right? Communication today happens predominantly through emojis.
Dear participants, you can unmute yourself and you can interact with our dear participants.
Yeah, it can be in a chat box also. So somebody says, pay attention to videos and slides. Yeah, kind of partially correct. So what I was attempting to tell you was this. So this is what I wanted to tell you. I wanted to tell you that these are the ground rules. Keep your videos on, right? The emoji says that. There's a tick and then there's this thing. So keep your videos on. Keep your microphone on mute when you're not speaking. And if you want to say something, if you want to comment, if you want to ask a question, put up your hands. Yeah, you can do it digitally or you can, so request you to come on video. It would help a lot because it's very difficult to speak, when there's no response. Communication is all about feedback and response, right? So whoever can, please come on video. Yeah. Right. So that is basically the ground rules that I wanted to set. Keep your videos on, keep your microphone off, and if you want to talk, please unmute and talk. And maybe, before unmuting, just put up your hands so that, we know you want to talk. Yeah. So let's move on to this. How good are you as a communicator? How would you rate yourself? Are you an excellent communicator? Are you a very good communicator? Good, average, or not so good? So you can put it on chat or you can answer for yourself. Take 30 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, but just think for yourself, where are we as a communicator? Am I excellent in communication or I'm not so good or am I average? So it would be good to do that exercise for you, because before we proceed, if you know where you stand, then it becomes easier for you to learn. Right. There seems to be some issue in the slides moving forward. Can you help me with that? Okay, now it's fine. Yeah. So communication, I mean, all of us know right from child, as a child, we've started communicating. Nobody taught us communication, but then we know what communication is all about. Whether we are hungry or angry or we have emotions, we want to share thoughts, we want to say something, we want to communicate a message, we want to teach something, communication comes to our rescue, right? Communication is all about transferring knowledge to people. I mean, I've just put a Oxford Dictionary meaning, but then we all know intrinsically what communication is, isn't it? So we started, look at the early man, he started with pictures. Okay, he started with drawing things, started with pictures, and then moved on to scripts, moved on to sounds, then moved on to scripts, then the language was formed. Once the language was formed, he started giving a script to the language, and then there was letters were written, telegrams were sent, then we started using phones, then long distance phones. One-on-one, we were able to speak, one to group. Today we are able to, right now we are doing that. So there's a lot of things, with respect to technology, with respect to communication. Things have moved far from using emojis. But then they say history repeats itself, right? What are we doing now? We are so comfortable going back to pictures. We are so comfortable, like the old age man. Today we are looking at emojis, we are looking at pictures that can communicate our thoughts. So typically in a communication, all of this So in a communication, who are the people who are involved? There's a sender and there's a receiver, right? The sender sends a message, sends a thought, sends an emotion, and then there's a receiver who receives it. But then when we send a message, is it reaching completely? What is the outcome of the message that I'm sending? Is it really reaching the receiver? That is a big question. Most of the divorces, if you look at it, it is basically because of disruption or miscommunication. Most of the problems between individuals and organization is because, there has been a miscommunication. Between countries, between parties, between individuals, the problems are basically one of miscommunication also. Okay, and miscommunication is a very big challenge. So we're talking about today why, when a sender is sending a message, why is it not being received, the way it is being sent by the receiver? So it is basically, there is a lot of noise. Just now we heard some noise, right? So there's a lot of noise. Now this noise is not just the physical noise. There are various things that stop the receiver, which stops the receiver from understanding the communication properly. And that is something that we'll be handling in this session. So finally, let's ask this question. Who's responsible for effective communication? Is it the sender or the receiver? Yeah, can somebody say? You can put it in the chat box. Who's responsible? Is it the sender or the receiver?
Sender.
It's a
the
medium.
sender.
It's a medium.
Oh, the medium is responsible, is it? The sender sends it and there's a lot of noise and then the person doesn't receive it properly. Okay. It is the sender, the medium, the receiver, whatever, right? It is a combination of all of that. Once again, the slides are. So is it the sender or the receiver? There's an exchange of information, but then the sender has a particular thought in mind. He's sending it or she's sending it with a particular thought in mind. Is the receiver getting it in the same way? That is a big question. So how should the sender then send the message? The message has to be simple. The message has to be easy to understand, right? It has to be very, very simple. And so that when you, and keep it short. You don't make one long winding sentence, something like, I will be going to Delhi today. I will go to the airport. So my husband will come in the evening at 7 o'clock. I have kept the, keys of the house under a pot which is outside my house. So please inform him that if you keep on saying all of that, the receiver is not going to get anything, right? So it has to be very simple, very short. And this sender has to kind of look at who is my audience. Is my audience, young? Are they contemporary? Are they old people? Are they professionals? Are my audience going to be children? Now, whatever you say, it has to suit the audience, right? If the audience cannot relate to what you're saying, then there's a problem. Yeah, somebody has put up their hands.
I don't know.
Ma'am,
Okay.
it's a long back, ma'am. You can continue, ma'am. It's a
Yeah,
long back.
sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So you can lower your hand then probably. Yeah. So it is, it has to suit the audience. And when I say this, I remember a small story. There was this Guruji who went to a village, and he went there for a satsang. He had to speak to the villagers, and he started speaking, and then there was a huge rain. So everybody, kind of moved away, and there was just one person, a person who was rearing cattle. He was sitting there. So this man, this Guruji, felt very unnerved. Everybody went away, and then what, he felt, should I do this session? Should I do the satsang? Should I not do? So he thought, nobody is there, so let me wind up. So he was about to leave, and that's when this farmer, this cattle, the person who rears cattle, he just got up and said, um, can I tell you something, Guruji? So Guruji said, yeah, go ahead. So he said, Guruji, I don't know. I came all the way to listen to you. I know only one thing, which is my master has told me that every evening that I go and get a lot of grass and other things for the cattle every day. And in the evening, when I bring the huge bundle, he tells me many times the cattle won't be back in the in the yard even then, so that sometimes there would be just one sheep which would have just come back, but my master would tell me, even if it is one sheep, you should feed the sheep. So the Guruji got the message. So he said, oh, so it's fine. So let me speak to you. Now that you're waiting, I will speak to you. And he went on, he started at satsang, and he went on and on and on. It was raining on and on and on. 2 hours non-stop rain, 2 hours non-stop satsang. At the end of it, he finished it, and then he said, so I got the message. So whatever your master said, I have done that. So are you happy? So this man turned around and said, yes, Guruji, you did one part of what my master said. There's another part that he said too. So the Guruji was very curious. He asked, what is that? So he said, he tells me that I need to feed even if one sheep is there, but I should not be feeding the entire bundle for that one sheep. So I have for 200 people, for 200 sheep, whatever I have, I can't be feeding it to one person. What was the message he was trying to give? He was trying to say that, he didn't know the audience. This was a farmer sitting there, and the satsang that he prepared or he wanted to give for 200 people on jnana and all that, how would it even reach that person? The Guruji failed to understand that. So that's when he got the message. The master said, feed appropriately. So that's the message that I would like to tell you here as well. It has to suit the audience. The audience should be able to relate to what you're saying. Third thing is feedback. It's again a very, very important responsibility both ways. Both the sender should take a feedback, and the receiver should also ensure that he gives a feedback. And this is on the role of the receiver, the importance of clarifying. The receiver needs to clarify. Oh, you said that, I didn't get it. Can I clarify it? Is this what you said? Can I summarize this? So in short, this is what you said, isn't it? So those kind of summary is very, very important, especially in professional atmosphere. And obviously testing understanding, the sender will have to ensure, has my message reached properly? So he tests understanding. So I will, just look at this. I've been very, very fond of Amul ads. Keep it short and simple applies absolutely to Amul. The context and just two or one line which communicates everything, right? Look at Amul, the taste of victory, or Amul, the Nirbhaya Bano ad, okay, or packs a punch. Look at it, it's communicating a lot of things, but then it's keeping it very short and it's keeping it simple. So this is one of the examples of keeping your message short and simple. I would like to share a video with you. Okay, just take a look at it. This is Then we will discuss why this video was played. 1 minute, just a minute. Yeah, just let me know if you're able to see the screen. Are you able to see the video? Are you able to see the video?
Yes, but it's not playing.
Yeah, I'm not playing it. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Yeah.
Ready, busy. Arahan terakhir.
Apa yang terima arahan?
Kami dulu. Balilah.
So you saw what happened? There was a total distortion of the message, right? Right? There was a total distortion of the message. This is what happens when, there is no feedback. And when multiple channels are there, when you want to communicate something, the best thing to do is to call the person and speak or write to that person. If you don't do that, then this is what happens. There is a distortion in communication. This is also called noise. Okay, so there is a distortion, there is a noise, there is a barrier to communication because of that. Yeah, so what do these pictures suggest? This time I really want you to either unmute and answer, or you could put it on chat. But now you should definitely say what this picture means.
They're sharing idea.
Sorry, I'm going to show you the picture. Use adjectives to describe this picture. You can type or you can tell me.
He is confident.
Okay, he's confident. Okay, what else does it say? What else?
He seems enthusiastic.
He's very enthusiastic. Okay.
Looks
Then?
professional.
Looks professional. Okay.
Very happy in his life.
Okay. Happy in his life. Okay. Yeah.
Obedient.
Anything? Sorry?
Obedient.
Obedient. Okay. What else?
Confident and punctual.
Confident. Yeah. Confident, professional, happy, obedient. Look at this picture. Now tell me what this picture tells you. What does this say?
Pessimist.
Looks so sad.
Oh, she's sad. Okay.
He is in
Looks like
confusion.
she's having a
She's
lot of
working on
stress
something.
or
She
anxiety.
has a lot of stress. Okay.
He
Nervousness.
is in confusion.
Sorry, come again. Divyanshu.
She's thoughting something.
She's thinking something. Okay. Divyanshi, you said something.
Nervousness. Maybe.
Nervous. She's feeling nervous. Okay.
Sad.
He is in confusion.
Confusion. Okay. Confusion, nervousness, sad. Then
She's tired.
tired. Okay. Tired.
Stress.
I think the share market
Stress.
just crashed and she's looking at our investment portfolio.
Swaroop, what are you saying? I'm not able to get you.
Yeah, I think that share market have just crashed and she's looking up to our investment portfolio and she's worried about it.
Okay. She's looking at her investment portfolio and is worried. Okay.
And deep thinking.
Deep thinking. Okay. What else?
He is analyzing.
She's analyzing. Okay. So the first picture, we'll stop there. The first picture, you felt he was confident, he was professional, he was happy, all of that. And here you feel that she's worked up, she's tense, she's looking at her portfolio and getting worried. Okay. And she's nervous, she's tired, all of that. But how much do we know them? Do we even know them? We are just seeing the pictures and then we have made all these judgments. Okay. Remember, when communication is not just about what you speak, it is about the way you dress up. Non-verbal communication is extremely important. And more than that, we will look at that. But what's very important is, please remember, the first impression is formed in the first 7 seconds. And all of us took less than 7 seconds to even comment on these people, right? So this should get us thinking. This should get us thinking as to how do I look? What is the kind of dress I wear? Is it appropriate to the occasion? Am I going to a party or am I going to office? Am I going for an interview or am I going for an outing? Am I going for a family function? How should I dress up? How should I look? In terms of, should I look confident? Then what should I do? So when you're worked up, it shows on your face. So these are things that we need to remember. So the next most important thing we need to look at is effective listening, because we always think communication is more about speaking, but I believe communication is a lot about listening. The more you listen, the lesser the problems. I mean, all of you would have noticed it at home. If you're married, you will know. If you're not married, you would have seen your parents. This standard conversation that happens between a husband and wife. The wife always says, I keep talking, you never listen. Yeah. And like I told you, miscommunication and listening have been the biggest reasons for people to fall apart. So let me ask you this, which part of the body do you use to listen? I mean, it looks very fundamental. Can you guys tell me which part of the body do you use to listen? You can unmute and tell me.
Yes.
Ears.
Why?
Sorry?
Brain.
Brain. Okay.
Through eyes we can communicate.
Through eyes you can communicate. Yes. But which part of the body do you listen to?
Both
So
ears
Yeah.
and the brain.
you use your ears, you use your eyes, you use your brain. Let us look at what it is. Yes, you use your
Mind.
eyes to just mute yourself. When I ask you, it would be good if you answer. I'll really be grateful if you. Yeah. So here, we use our eyes when somebody is talking to us. And eye contact is a very, very important thing. That's a very important takeaway for you. Eye contact is very important. If you're not looking at the person in the eye, it means you're shy or not very confident, or you're nervous, or you're not telling the truth. It could be any of that. So research proves that people who look into your eye and speak are could be more truthful, could be more confident. And obviously we use both our ears to hear. But, when I say both our ears, it's not like you hear from one ear and leave it in the other. Use both the ears and send the message to your brain. And we also listen when we keep our mouth shut. Okay, when somebody is talking, it's very important to give respect and keep quiet and listen. Okay, there's no talking or you don't make sounds. It's very important that you kind of keep quiet and listen. Because when somebody is talking, if you keep murmuring or you're singing a song, most of the time it happens, mama keeps saying something and we are singing, right? When you do that, it's very irritating because we never know whether you're listening or not listening. What we said got into your mind or not. Similarly, your hands. Very important to not to fiddle around with things. Okay, play around with stuff. Use your phone when somebody is speaking. Okay, use your phone. This is again another common thing that's happening that we can see around. Somebody is speaking, but you are on your phone. Okay, that's not a very good thing to do. The hands have to be quiet, maybe on your lap or on your pockets or by the side, especially in a professional environment. Yeah. So the whole body listening is what we need to practice. It's not just the ears, not just the eyes, not just the brain, but the whole body needs to be completely glued to what's happening around. And many times, if you see, people listen, like Stephen Covey says, they do not listen with an intent to listen, to understand, but they listen just to give a reply. Let the other person complete, then let me start talking. So that is something that's happening. I have seen this happen many a times in the park when I go for walk. I see two old men talking, or this man would be saying, typically, nowadays these youngsters are not healthy. We used to drink water from wherever. Now they buy packet water, this, that, and then they'll say they are not at all healthy. They are very, very selfish. during COVID, I didn't even take a COVID vaccine, all that this man would say. And I stood next to him and I was just listening. The moment he completed, the next person started talking. I don't even know whether he listened to what he said, because he also repeated the same thing. He said, during COVID, I didn't take a vaccine. Nowadays, the youngsters are not healthy. I mean, it keeps happening that way. So that is not the way to listen. Listening is about completely being there at the moment, being here and now, and listening completely. The whole body listening should be practiced. That's a key takeaway for you. The other thing is, when you're listening, many times people come and talk to you, especially in a professional environment. They come and talk to you because then it's not as if they're looking at a solution all the time. Your friend comes and tells you something. Maybe he knows something happens in his office, you really can't do anything about it. All they're expecting is an empathetic listening. Okay, so it is called compassionate emptiness. Okay, you be compassionate, you be empathetic, just give 100% listening. In fact, in customer satisfaction and customer training, when we do that, we tell the sales people or the customer service people, we tell them, when an angry customer comes into your showroom, an angry customer comes and shouts, all you need to do is to make him sit, give him a glass of water and listen. The mistake could be completely from his side, or it could completely be a misunderstanding. But the fact is, the very fact that you listened, you gave attention. Okay, you may still not be able to give a solution, it's fine. But compassionate emptiness is extremely important. So listening helps you with all.
Doctor, your voice is not audible. Madam, your voice is not audible.
I guess there is some internet issue.
Madam, your voice is not audible. Is there any problem?
I hope some network issue in guest area.
Yeah.
Madam,
Sorry.
now you are visible. Yeah. Please proceed.
Yeah, I'm back. I think there was a network drop. Yeah. So just telling you, for me, the most important part of communication, the most important part of, looking at the barriers to communication is the perception, the psychological stuff. It's not to do so much with right now there was a breakdown in communication because of, internet connectivity. I lost the connectivity. All of that can happen. But the biggest barrier to communication is perception. Is, when somebody comes to talk to us, even before the person opens up talking, we think this person is not going to tell the truth. Or we know, this person cannot be trusted. We have our own perceptions of various people. And when we are in a
Sorry
disturbed
to
state.
interrupt, madam.
Yeah.
We were on slide 13, not on 15.
Didn't you see this?
No. 13.
Oh,
Slide
okay.
13 is where we.
Right.
No, we are in slide 14.
No, slide 13 was this. I just said.
Yeah.
So it's basically, effective listening is, it helps leadership skills and it enhances, promotes problem solving and all that. And then I came to this where I said there are a lot of barriers to communication. And to me, the most important barrier to communication is this, is what I said. Yeah. So here, we have a lot of preconceived notions, right? I'll just share one quick example. I was running a workshop where, there was a lady who was very enthusiastic, was sitting in the first row, answering most of my questions. I mean, it was a physical workshop, fairly senior people were there. And I was very happy with the way she was interacting. Then there was a lunch session. At the end of the lunch session, I saw when she came back, she went and sat in the last row. So I was wondering why she had to go sit there. And then during just before tea break, I told her, Mrs. Nirmala, why don't you get up, come to the front and sit? So she came to the front, reluctantly she came, and after that she was completely quiet. She never answered. She looked very upset. So during the coffee break, she came up to me and then she said, you shouldn't have done this to me. I really didn't understand. So I was asking her what went wrong. So she said, no, I knew that you understood that I was feeling sleepy. I was feeling sleepy, so I was sitting at the back. And I guess you knew, you saw me, probably not very active. And you knew I was sleeping, so you wanted to make sure that in front of everybody, you told me, come and sit in the front. Honestly, I just wanted to encourage her because she was so good and I felt very nice interacting with her. I asked her to come and sit in the front. I never knew she was feeling sleepy. Did I know that, so there was an interpretation from her side. She felt very insulted. Whereas I thought I was giving her a credit, but she felt very insulted. Then I had to kind of explain in the class what actually happened. I told her, what did I ask you? She said, you asked me to get up. Mrs. Nirmala, get up, come to the front and sit. So what does that mean? It means, Mrs. Nirmala, get up, come to the front and sit. What does that mean? It means, Mrs. Nirmala, get up, come to the front and sit. It has no other meaning. But you add a meaning, and in real time, in real life, you see how many meanings we add to words and phrases and body language of different people. Somebody would have been very busy in the morning. We would have just seen the person you would have said good morning. But the person, because he was preoccupied, wouldn't have told you good morning. Then you immediately start thinking, this guy has grown horns. This guy doesn't want to respect me. This guy doesn't, so I will not talk to him. It's all, our own perceptions. And that's why human beings are called generating machines. We are called MGMs, meaning generating machine. For every situation, you look at it, if there is a miscommunication, if there is a problem between individuals, most of the time it is because of the meaning that we would have attached to what happened. Yeah. And I believe emotional intelligence is extremely important in communication. And, we need to carry ourselves with a positive body language. We need to manage our emotions much better. And today, if you look at it, many products are sold based on communication through emotions. Many products are sold like that. Okay. Let me just share a small video for you. Just for you to understand how storytelling is extremely important. Today, people are using stories to communicate, and stories are being used for many products. I mean, it's not just one product. People are using even the pitch. If you look at the pitch, what is that? Sony TV has got that program. No, even there, if you look at it, most of the time it is a story that one is using, and then that's how it is being sold. So let's just take a quick look at this video. Tell me if you're able to see the screen. If you're not, also please tell me.
We cannot able to see the screen. We can see you, ma'am.
Okay. I'll share the screen. Yeah.
Yes, now it's
Yeah, yeah.
You able to see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you seeing Wix in that?
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
मम्मी नाराज तो होने ही वाली। वो तो चाहती है कि मैं डॉक्टर ही बनूं। इसने हॉलीडेज खत्म और बोर्डिंग स्कूल शुरू। एक दिन भी एक्स्ट्रा रुकने नहीं दिया। मम्मी भी ना। मम्मी ने अपनी लाइफ अपने आप ही बनाई। 18 साल की थी जब उनके फादर ने उन्हें घर से निकाल दिया। अकेले रहने का तो सोचने से भी डर लगता है। मैंने अपने पापा को कभी देखा नहीं, और मेरी असली माँ, वो बहुत बीमार रहती थी। उनके बारे में सिर्फ एक ही दिन याद है जो मैं कभी भुला नहीं पाती। एक दिन कुछ लोग आए और उन्हें एम्बुलेंस में ले गए। फिर वो कभी वापस ही नहीं आई। फिर एक दिन मम्मी आई। बहुत प्यार से मुझे अपनी गोद में बिठाया और मुझे अपने घर ले गई। तबीयत खराब थी तो पूरी रात मेरे साथ बैठी रही। सुबह मम्मी ने एक सुंदर सी रेड फ्रॉक पहनाई, मेरे लिए ढेर सारे चिप्स बनाए। मम्मी के साथ 10 साल हो गए। अब तो मम्मी मम्मी कम और दोस्त ज्यादा बन गई। संडे हम दोनों का फेवरेट दिन है। बालों में तेल लगाने के बाद दोपहर में मेरा फेवरेट लंच कड़ी चावल और रात में हॉरर फिल्म। डर लगता है पर मम्मी होती है ना तो नहीं लगता। ये है मेरी मम्मी, है ना प्यारी? मम्मी ने लाइफ में इतने प्रॉब्लम्स देखे, कितना कुछ सहा है, पर फिर भी उन्होंने हमेशा मेरा ख्याल रखा है। सिविक्स बुक में तो लिखा है कि सबके लिए बेसिक राइट्स सेम होते हैं, फिर मम्मी को क्यों नहीं है? इसलिए मैं डॉक्टर नहीं, लॉयर बनूंगी मेरी मम्मी के लिए।
So you saw that? I mean, it's an ad for Wix, but then look at the kind of story they weave, okay, to ensure that we get the message straight and we get the message strong. Okay, so storytelling is used as a tool everywhere, and I think communication today, whatever you want to communicate, there's a lot of emotions attached to it. So objective communication is there, but then when it is weaved around a story, when there is emotions packaged with that, the receiver receives it much better. Yeah, so in a sense, what are we saying? Be an active listener, listen with your whole body, practice compassionate emptiness, listen to others with a lot of empathy, show engagement, ask questions, ask doubts, clarify your doubts, restate the purpose, ask if this, with the sender, if you're a receiver, ask, clarify doubts, okay, summarize things. And if you're a sender, keep the message short and simple. And all of this will help you communicate for success. You should know what is the objective. Okay, what is the outcome expected at the end of this 5 minutes when I'm meeting this person? If you really know that, then you can communicate for success. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Dear
Thank you.
participants, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and you can raise your question. Dear participants.
Madam, that's a wonderful session. It's really a wonderful session. See, let me start asking the first question. Whether the communication varies between the ages. See, a small aged person communicating to a old age people, or old age people communicating to a lower age people like that. Is there any difference? Should we create any difference while communicating to those people like that?
I mean, irrespective of the age, like I said, you need to know the audience, right? So if a child is asking you a question, then it is for us to explain something which is, see, for example, I'll give you an example. My grandmother, when my sister got married and she went to US, so my grandmother was like, we communicated with I'm talking about 20 years back. So calling somebody, over a call to US and talking was, very distant. So when we spoke, my grandmother couldn't believe, okay, that we can speak to somebody who has gone thousands of miles away. So she was saying, how did it happen? Well, so what is the science behind it? So I kept on saying, you won't understand. Just forget it. You won't understand. So she said, you try telling me now, why you saying that I will not understand? Tell me in a language that I will understand, she said. So then I had to kind of explain to her with our rituals, how we communicate to people, or, how we think this is reaching people. All of that we had to communicate. And finally she understood. But she made me think. She said, tell me in a fashion that I can understand. So when we work with a lot of children here, right? So children come and ask a lot of questions. So we have to look at their background. What will they understand? See, our children, when they come to us, they don't understand what a spaghetti is. They don't understand. They know noodles at best. They don't understand what a pasta is. So we have to kind of pizza, for example. So we have to explain in a language that they will understand. So it's very important to know the audience and communicate accordingly. And it is not necessary that you should transfer all your knowledge to the person who's asking the question. Not required. Like I told you, what the audience can take, only that much you can give. So
good. Friends, any other people have got question, they can unmute and they can ask the questions to the guest.
Good evening, ma'am. Thank you for an interactive session.
Yes.
My question is, how can we actively involve in storytelling and use our creative mind while speaking?
So for storytelling, I mean, today you see a lot of stories around you. Okay, you don't have to go and search for things. You see a lot of things happening around you. It's only that, in your mind, you need to decide to connect emotionally. So you have to decide what is the outcome of this meeting. And depending on the outcome, you can either look at a story, real life story, things that happened to you or happened around you, or today, obviously, you find so much of material on Google, on ChatGPT, on DPI, whatever, and ask the right question to the machine will give you a right answer. You need to understand it's still a machine. So you need to ask questions appropriately and be intelligent enough to weave a story around what you get out of the machine. So it is possible to get inputs, but it's your packaging, it's your emotion which is going to make all the difference. And besides, it's not about creating a story. How do you articulate is extremely important. Yeah,
Can you give some tips? Can you give some tips to articulating a story in an effective way?
So, I mean, I think that will take another session by itself. So, I think, we can connect offline and then I can probably help you with that. Yeah. There's somebody else who had asked something. Yeah, thank you, Tirupati. How to deal with introverts and shy person while communicating ideas and thoughts. It's a very, very difficult thing. But with introverts, it's extremely like this session itself, okay? We are trying to understand whether you have understood. So if you ask questions only, we will know, right? So introverts are people who don't open up that quickly. So you will have to keep asking. You will have to cajole them. You will have to ask questions like Ramkumar just did. You lead the way by, kind of prompting, asking them questions. And that's how people open up. And introverts open up only to people who they trust. So it's also very important that you become a trustworthy person. That's also very, introverts are introverts because By nature, they do not want to share a lot of things. So they will not really open up unless you keep asking pointed questions. But before asking certain pointed questions, you have to make them comfortable. You have to make them feel that they can trust you, they can interact with you. Then I think things will happen. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Final
sorry.
question. Final question.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Kriti, yeah, you were about to ask something. Drishti, did you have a question?
Ma'am, shall I ask one question?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Ma'am, I often find communicating with students quite challenging, as not every student have equal understanding and equal capability. So, any tips, ma'am, for someone practicing in this teaching field? So, any
Yeah,
tips for us?
so for being a teacher is an art. It's not just a skill. It's an art. You need to know, so there are various methodologies that can be used to ensure, children learn. Like, for example, there is a methodology called multiple intelligence. Okay, that is a methodology which Harvard uses predominantly and many universities and schools abroad use. So you may want to look up as to what MI is all about, and that could probably be an answer to your question. Apart from emotionally connecting with people who are taking a little more time. And you also need to remember that a fish need not be taught to swim, taught to fly, right? So every student has their own strengths. So getting everybody, if you expect that because you take a class and everybody understands, that may be too much of an expectation, because somebody who's good at maths may not be as good at in English or in something else. So the tool that you can use is multiple intelligence, that will make things easier for the student to understand, make it easier for you to teach. But at the same time, have in mind that everybody need not be the same, need not have the same understanding.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Madam, thank you very much. To close the session, you can briefly tell about what is the Shraddha Mano Foundation does in Chennai. You can tell a few lines about your foundation, and then we'll close the session, madam.
Okay, so in Shraddha Mano Foundation, we teach graduate housewives from the underprivileged segment, the families which do not have a permanent income, a monthly income. So we identify such women and we do a teacher training program for these women. We use multiple intelligence predominantly. We train these women and subsequently we kind of place them in schools. And the other thing that we do is we work with children from the underprivileged segment, and we teach them foundational literacy and numeracy. So currently we are working with about 5,000 children across Tamil Nadu, across 28 districts, across about 88 odd schools. So that's what we do.
Great.
Thanks, Ramkumar.
Yeah, so it's a wonderful session. There are more than 20 professors are there. They have joined in the session. It's really nice to see all those people. And thank you very much, Madhumati madam. Over to Dr. Raja for the vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. First of all, we had a very good session, lots of information. It's not like a webinar, it's like a workshop, ma'am. We had a hands-on experience, how to communicate, everything, gesture, many things you taught us, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this opportunity, ma'am.
Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir.
I'm from Satyabama University, ma'am. We can also do a program in Satyabama also, ma'am.
Sure.
Thank you, ma'am. Last but not least, we had a very good participants. Dear participants, I'm going to post a feedback form. Please fill up the feedback form. Within a few seconds, you will receive a certificate, e-certificate through the email ID. Thank you all. Thank you, dear participants. We can meet you in another interesting program. Thank you all.
Before that, we like to recognize the presence of Dr. Daniel Chalapa, the senior most scientist who earlier worked in Indira Gandhi research area, Kalpakam. So he's our senior member. We thank Dr. Daniel Chalapa who joined in this session. Thank you very much, doctor. Thank you, friends. Let us meet in next session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ramkumar.
Yeah, thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Dear participants, we posted a feedback form. Please fill up the feedback form.
Thank you so much, sir. Good night, everyone.
முடிஞ்சு முடிஞ்சா இனி ரிசல்ட்ட பத்தி கேட்கணும் தாய் ரிசல்ட்